Greetings, all you man's minds on rhymes, and today I am going to be talking about how the high school system, or the school system in general, screwed me over to the point of me dropping out. I didn't fail the school system failed me, as it has many, many people before me and after me until it gets changed. Hopefully, it gets changed. So, normally on this channel, I like to be a little bit more positive than this. But I decided that this is a pretty serious topic to talk about, and I'm just going to talk about it. So, to start, let me talk about my experience in middle school. Middle school was actually fine. I did pretty well. I got basically B's and C's and some A's. I was a fairly average student. Didn't really have any sort of conflicts with anybody. I had some fights, but it wasn't anything crazy. My middle school, by the way, had recess, which is awesome. I think all schools, no matter the grade, should have recess. But anyway, everything was fine. I think I was held back once, if I remember right. I don't really remember. This was a very long time ago. But regardless, middle school was fine. Overall, it was fine. Nothing real to complain about. Not that I remember much of it anyway. I also did band in middle school. Played the clarinet. And the bass clarinet, but mostly the clarinet. And that was fine, but I just lost interest in it. So, ninth grade. Ninth grade starting out was okay. Then, some staff recommended me to go into honors classes because apparently I was having really high test scores, and they thought I was ready for honors. Now, intelligence-wise, I obviously I could. I'm not a stupid person. My entire family is full of smart people. It's just how it is. I'm not trying to say any sort of like superiority complex or anything. I know it comes off that way, but I did have very high test scores. Like I was getting nothing but B pluses and A's and A pluses. I was basically never getting a C on any test. But the thing was, I was not ready for honors because it was going way too fast. I'm a slow learner. I can learn how to do things, but at my own pace. You got to give me some time to get familiar with it. I have to have my hands on it. I have to go over and study it by myself and maybe have a little bit of coaching, but I don't need hand holding all the way through. A lot of people are like this. Some people just cannot, learn quick. I'm a much slower learner, and this is something that the high school refused to address with me. So, honors, I flunked out of it, and they were kind of surprised. They're like, "Your test scores showed that you could have done this," and I said to that man, "I'm like, test scores don't mean jack. This is going way too fast for me. I need something slower. I need something where I can get more extra help." But they didn't listen to me, and they just threw me back into normal class. This was how it was for the ninth grade. And spoiler, it happens multiple times throughout my time in high school and multiple times in some grades. 10th grade rolls around, and everything was fine for a while. I was doing okay, making more friends, typical high school stuff. But then I got put into honors again. And I flunked out of it basically a week later, if a week later. And they were surprised again. So I was put back into normal classes. I was held back in 10th grade. Yep, I was held back. And I graduated 10th grade basically like half a year later or something like that. Because the way I flunked was I barely, very barely. So I just needed to retake one class. So it wasn't that big of a problem, but I was still held back. And, then I went into 11th grade, and this is where problems really started to happen. So, in 11th grade, some of the classes I did really well in were like things like shop class. I was really good at Forge, and I was really good on the welder. I could weld anything. I was very good at it. And I also took a lawnmower engine apart and put it all back together by myself because my partner was like sick for an entire week. Poor dude. I think he had pneumonia or some shit. Fuck me. I had bronchitis. That was bad enough. Anyway, That wasn't the real big problem. Also, there was art class where I was really good. It was really a pottery class, ceramic class. I was very good at that, but then I was thrown into more honors classes. These idiots did not learn their lesson. And then finally, after I basically flunked 11th grade, they said, "Okay, we got to try something different." And I was like, "You think?" These fucking morons. I swear to God, school staff are the most moronic beings in existence. Like, there is nothing going on inside their head. You shout into their ear, you'll hear an echo. It's insane. Anyway, the last year I was in high school was kind of strange because I was technically in 12th and 11th grade at the same time. So I was taking 11th grade classes and 12th grade classes. And at this point, I kind of gave up. Like, I was already on the path of giving up. I was doing less and less of the things they told me to do, and I was mostly just either trying to skip classes because I saw no point, or I legit just wasn't doing anything. By the way, I'm condensing a lot of stuff down. Uh, Spoilers. By the time I dropped out, I was 18. Yes, you heard me right. I was an adult. I was 18. By the time you're 18, you're supposed to basically be done with high school and moving to college. College is a pipe dream for me, especially at this point. College tuition is way too expensive. If I was going to go to college for anything, it'd probably have to do something with cosmology or chemistry or some other nerdy crap like that. But anyway, it's just, I could not keep up with anything. And they finally put me into a few classes that I kind of could. And there was some promise, but at this point, my brain and just myself and my soul was so drained of everything that I just could not do it. And they were wondering, like, what happened to you? You used to be an incredible student. Like, you were getting very high test scores. You were excelling. You were basically an honors student, but the honors classes were moving too fast for you. What happened? The honest truth is, the high school burned me out. It completely drained me. Like, it was like a leech draining the life force away from me. And it was also accompanied by the fact that, by the way, I'm gay in a high school that was not very gay friendly. So it was also a pretty stressful environment. That was not helping. I was openly gay because I was trying to get more people to. There's actually kind of a big gay population in the school, and trans and bi, pan, all of that. Trying to help them just, say screw these hillbillies that don't know shit, and just be yourself and everything. Also, I went through some pretty bad relationships, friends and boyfriends. Boyfriends that didn't treat me right, that didn't actually love me back. So, yeah, I kind of got screwed up by all this. This really, really just... Typically, I'm a fairly stoic person. A lot of things don't really get to me. But years upon years of this, bad relationships, friends moving away, or friends becoming enemies, sometimes enemies becoming friends, that happens. Boyfriends that didn't love me back. The stress of high school and the fact that I just could not keep up with anything. It took everything out of me. Literally everything out of me. And I was 18 in high school. So I made the executive decision of just dropping out because there was no way I could have kept up. I wasn't depressed, but I feel like I was on the verge of becoming pretty depressed from all this. Oh, and this was a few years after I did in fact go through some sort of depression. It was more like a paranoia, but it was still like depression based. So, yeah, not a whole lot of good. So, I literally said to the principal's face, "Look here. I'm dropping out, and you cannot stop me. I'm an adult. I'm allowed to drop out because this school system has failed me. And I shut him up when he tried to say, well, you could have probably done something better. I wanted to punch that guy in the face. I wanted to flatten his nose for what for that moronic statement. Oh my god. You could have done better. Holy shit. Echo chamber. Absolute echo chamber. I will never forget those words. And the fucking look on his face. Like he didn't understand what I was saying. That the school system failed me. Acting like the school system was probably like, the greatest thing since sliced bread. Wow. Wow. Anyway, I continued by saying, I'm out of here. The school system is nothing but a joke. The American school system is the greatest punchline in history. It really is. It's pathetic. Now, I know Japanese schools are very, very strict and super stressful. Poor Japan. But I just could not do it. And also, the school system was getting less and less funding, and less cool things were happening, and the school was starting to get a little, not in disrepair, but you could tell that it was starting to get a bit more rough. Not with students and everything, just with maintenance and things. Because school funding was being cut. Isn't that fun? So, I don't really remember too much of the dropout process. I basically had one last day where I did fuck and all. I did not curse out any teachers, but the teachers I hated, I made sure to make them know that I despise their guts. In a polite manner. I didn't, curse them out or anything. I could have. So, yeah, I also, I wanted to flip off my bus driver, but I didn't. I really should have. She was horrible, by the way. Like, oh my god. You want to talk about a tyrant? That's another story for another day, maybe. Anyway, yeah, I didn't fail the school system. The school system failed me. It failed to provide an environment where I could actually learn. And plus, most of the things we were learning just, come on, doesn't make sense. Now, there are some school systems in America, I can't talk right now, and I think other places in the world, where lessons are taught like games, and their students are happier, and they do better in classes, and this is how you should teach kids. Make it a damn game. Not this, here's a bunch of worksheets, fill them out sort of crap. Like drill sergeants. It is so bad. I cannot believe that we spend nearly $1 trillion a year, and it's probably more than that, on our defense budget. But America somehow cannot afford, first off, good housing for everybody. Thanks, boomers. Thank you for fucking up the housing market. Oh, and minimum wage. Minimum wage should be like $30 an hour, if not more. Oh, we can't also afford good schooling, and we cannot afford free healthcare. But $1 trillion on a defense budget that we don't need, absolutely we can afford that. That is easy peasy, no problem at all. There's not, $20 trillion in debt we need to worry about. There's no civil unrest. America is the home of the free, home of the brave, land of the free. USA, we're the best. No, Finland and Norway are the best. Other countries need to copy Finland, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland because they know what they're doing. You know how many homeless people Finland has? 0. Why? Because they actually help the homeless. But I don't want to get too political. All these topics are big fucking topics and rabbit holes on their own. All that shit. But, high school was the worst for me. And it has a reputation of being the worst for a lot of people. But, yes, I am a high school dropout. But it's just because I couldn't anymore in high school. My brain refused to can, basically. And the will, all that, just life force was literally sucked out of me by the high school. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And I don't blame myself at all for failing. It was the school system. No child left behind my ass. Anyway, I hope you found this video interesting, and I hope it wasn't too depressing or too upsetting. In the comments, please comment, by the way. I really want to hear your high school experiences. Also, if you have any sort of creepy high school sort of stories, leave them in the comments in a nice descriptive way, and I'll read them for a video. Because I feel like that could be a very fun topic. What sort of weird, creepy shit has happened in your high school? I want to know. Anyway, all that being said, the American school system is very bad. It needs to be fixed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, in Trilby, we trust.